NaNoWriMo is a perfect opportunity for anyone who wants to try and write a book and who wants to challenge themselves to build a writing routine. But what is NaNoWriMo? NaNoWriMo stands for National Novel Writing Month, and it's an international competition where writers from all over the world try to write 50,000 words in a month. Oh, so that means basically writing 1,667 words in 30 days. And I think that the competition is like it's built for you to challenge yourself and actually like go and get through and like smash that goal that you have. But it's also there for you not to like, because when you try to write a novel in 30 days, there is not really that much time for you to like edit the novel. You just have to go and get through that first draft. So I think that that is one of the main key things with NaNoWriMo that makes it exciting, because you have to like turn on your no turn off your inner critic and your inner editor. But why is NaNoWriMo so significant, especially for new aspiring authors or writers that hasn't like maybe you haven't even finished your first novel yet? Well, first of all, like the biggest thing is that if you do NaNoWriMo and if you actually succeed at writing, you will have done something that most people only talk about. You will have written a novel. You will have finished a first draft. That is like so much, that makes you like so much ahead of most people that it's amazing. That in itself is a huge win, both for you as a writer, but also like to gain confidence in yourself and in your craft. I did NaNoWriMo the first time. It was probably more than 10 years ago, and I was actually studying creative writing at university. So me and my writer friends at uni, we decided to do the NaNoWriMo challenge. But this was tough. Like back then, I didn't have a writing routine. I knew I wanted to be an author, but I didn't have a writing routine. I didn't really know what I was doing. I had not prepared for NaNoWriMo at all. But I just did it. I figured I'll write as I go, I'll write by the seat of my pants and see what happens. And we had like these get-togethers at least once a week when we did an all-nighter writing sprint all night. And we actually invited like other people who wanted to study as well. That was really, really fun. And it was such a great way both to challenge myself as a writer and as an author and start to like build momentum, building up a writing routine, but also just to see that it was possible for me to create something out of nothing. And that book that I like wrote during my first NaNoWriMo, that is actually like a book series that I'm still working on today. It has been reshaped a lot since like that first draft when I didn't plan anything. But that was I think the first manuscript that I ever finished the first draft of. And that has had a huge impact on my writing career because that boosted my confidence just to know that I was able to do it. NaNoWriMo also helps you building up a writing routine, and this is something that is super important if you want to have a writing career in the long run, and if you want to take your writing seriously. You know that I talk a lot about this on my channel. I've been writing for more than 500 days now in a row, and like building up this writing routine has, it's made all the difference when it comes to my writing. And now I'm a lot more disciplined. I know what I need to be able to be creative and to be able to be productive. But for most people, like they haven't found that writing routine yet. And doing NaNoWriMo, it can be a great challenge just to challenge yourself, just to sit down and write every day. You don't have to write 1,667 words. Maybe you can just write 50 words or 100 words each day, because that in itself will help you build momentum, something that you can leverage later on. And like some years during NaNoWriMo, I haven't been able to like fit in my writing as I wanted to. So sometimes you also have to be creative and try to come up with different times to write and stuff like that. And probably like the best reason for you to do NaNoWriMo is because if you do NaNoWriMo, you will have to turn off your inner critic. I already said this once, but it's so important that I have to say it again. NaNoWriMo will help you turn off your inner critic and, just write, have fun. Because you're still gonna edit it later, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just get that draft out there. And one of the biggest challenges that a lot of writers face, like during NaNoWriMo, but also generally in life, is the lack of time. And the thing here is like, yeah, I feel you that you don't have time for writing, but that is also a question about priorities. So, if you actually want to write and if you actually want to create a writing career or whatever, you have to start prioritizing writing and prioritizing yourself. And that means that you have to say no to other things in, to be able to do what you want to do with your life. And that might sound harsh. I get it. Some people, some of you guys, you have families. Maybe you're studying full time, maybe you're working full time, maybe, I don't know, you have other responsibilities. But you know what? So do I. I have a full-time job. I write every day. Yeah, I don't have kids, so that is not an issue. But I also struggle with this sometimes. But I have, like, when I started, no, when I decided to start writing every day, I had to make big changes in my life. I had to say no to a lot of things. And nowadays, I actually have other priorities than I had back in the days because now I have a goal. I know what I want. And I know that the only way for me to get where I want to go is to, well, first of all, write as much as possible, be super productive, write as much and as good as possible. And if I'm going to be a great writer, I have to write and learn more and more about the craft of writing. And that is why I write every day, and that is why I make these videos here on YouTube, because to make these videos, I have to like learn a lot and like do research and stuff, and that actually helps me become a better writer. So I love that. Like, it's a win-win situation. And if you're struggling with finding the time to write, now that it's still October, like take a step back and actually look at your schedule, look at how your week looks. There is a thing called the ideal work week or the ideal week that Ali Abdal talks a lot about. I will link the video in the description box. But I have done the ideal week and I actually use it until this day. So I have scheduled like during 8 and 5, I'm doing like my day job. And in the mornings before that, I have some time for writing. In the afternoons, maybe I'll do a workout. I have scheduled everything in my calendar to make sure that I prioritize the things that matter to me. And like if something comes up and I have to move things around, then I'll move them around, but I won't cancel writing because writing is super important to me. And just like getting an overview with the ideal work week has really, really helped me create more time. But it also made me realize that I spent a lot more time than I thought back in the days, like watching TV shows and just dumb scrolling social media and stuff. And now I don't do that as much anymore because that is not something that I want. That is not something that gives me the tools, or, it does move me in the right direction, basically. And like, if you're thinking, well, I don't watch TV that much, or I don't scroll social media that much, are you sure? Like, look, take your phone and look like in the how much do I hang out on TikTok, like in these settings, because you might be surprised. And let's say you watch TV like 2, 3 hours a day. That times 7, that's 21 hours. That's half your work week that you spend watching TV. Do you really have to do that much? And yeah, I get that maybe you're tired from work, maybe you're tired from anything, but if you're tired, then like go for a walk or go to the gym, go for a run, do something. If you're tired, if your head is tired, move your body. That really, really helps for me to just clear my head and to reset and like get more energy. If your body's tired, then instead rest your body and, I don't know, maybe do something fun for the head. Do a crossword or draw on pen and paper. You have to like give yourself the tools that you need to get more energy, and that will give you more time for writing. So really important for like preparing for NaNoWriMo is to make sure that you have the tools that you need. Another thing that really has helped me is to look at my sleeping schedule and to optimize my sleep. And I like one of the things that I do to optimize my sleep is to not drink coffee too late in the afternoon. It's a really simple thing, but it helps so much. I track my sleep using my Apple Watch, and it makes such a big difference. I get a lot better like sleeping patterns and stuff like that, and that gives me more energy to be focused and to write, especially during NaNoWriMo. Like that's a lot more words than I usually produce in a day. But I think also like when it comes to not having the time to write, if you do NaNoWriMo, then you actually also like you have an excuse to say no to some things. So you have an excuse to say no to, I don't know, going to dinner that you don't want to go to, or hanging out with people you don't want to hang out with, or whatever. It's okay to say no because you have decided to do this challenge for yourself. And sometimes you're gonna have to say no to things that you want to do as well. Like maybe you really, really, really want to go to the movie with your partner, but you haven't written and you're falling behind. The choice is yours. But, and also, like, yeah, of course it's okay to take a break, but make sure that you have more time. And yeah, I guess like one of the key things to make sure that you have time, for me at least, is that during October I will prepare by outlining what I want to write during November. So I will make an outline. I will have some sort of know-how, like knowledge. Okay, what are the chapters supposed to be about? What's the story? And so forth. That really, really helps. Like, so if I get stuck, I can just move on to the next chapter or like write another scene. Another thing that I do is, batch create content for social media or batch create like food. Just do food prep. That really, really helps. So if you have like your lunch prepared and you're working from home, then you can just warm it up and eat it really quickly and then sit down and write for like 15 minutes or half an hour during NaNoWriMo. Lack of motivation and planning are also some common challenges that a lot of people face during NaNoWriMo. But how can you like prepare before and make sure that you're not running into these problems during this month? The first step is that you create, like, you make sure that you have realistic goals. Do you think that it will be possible for you to write 1,667 words each day? Or maybe your goal is to write 200 words each weekday and then try to write more during the weekends? Look at your life, look at your schedule, and make sure that the goals that you set up are realistic for the life that you're living. Make a plan and, prepare. And after that, of course, create an outline. I already talked about this, but it's so important. Even if you're a pantser, like make sure that you have some sort of plan for the direction of the story, or if you want to just go with like crazy bananas, seat of your pants, then have some writing prompts ready if you get stuck. Because during NaNoWriMo, you want to continuously move forward, hopefully. Also, try to have a plan for what you should do if you get stuck. Maybe you have some writing friends that you can call or text or talk to. Maybe, as I said, like use some sort of writing prompt. Or do you have an accountability partner that you can talk to? Have a plan in case of emergency. And the third tip, this is one of my favorites, is to use the Pomodoro method. So those days that you have more time to write, use the Pomodoro method and write like for longer periods of time. I actually made a video like just a week ago with the Pomodoro method. So if you want to like do a write with me, work with me session, please use that video. I love writing together with you guys. And during NaNoWriMo, I'm actually gonna try to do some Pomodoro lives. So yeah, I will announce it when I know what time I can do it. But the Pomodoro method, that is one of my favorite methods to just to keep focused. For those of you who don't know what Pomodoro method is, it is a productivity technique where you work for 25 minutes, then you take a 5-minute break, then you work for 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break. You do this 4 times, and after that, you take a long break of 15 minutes, and it's just super great for your brain because after that you can do another Pomodoro. And I tend to be super productive when I use the Pomodoro method. So I hope that it can help you too. Also, side note here, if you're going to use the Pomodoro method or some other method to go into deep focus, it's so important that you turn off your notifications both on your computer and on your phone. Like go preferably completely off the grid during that time because this technique is built on you going into hyperfocus, and that is quite hard for our brains. So our brain will be like, oh, is there some social media or something to distract us? Your brain will probably like look for that. So make sure that there are no distractions for you to lure you away from that writer flow that you will hopefully get into. And last but not least, like try to join the NaNoWriMo community or get an accountability buddy or make sure that you have someone else to talk to and someone else that is doing this together with you. Because if you're doing it together with someone, it would be a lot easier to have someone to talk about, like, okay, I'm feeling a little bit like I have imposter syndrome. I don't know what to do. Or maybe you get writer's block or whatever. If you have people around you and also people that are expecting you to actually deliver on what you said you were going to do, that will actually help you gain momentum and keep on going. So yeah, in summary, this 30-day challenge is definitely possible, but you do need to like plan and prepare for it to actually work. I will be doing NaNoWriMo this year, and I hope it will go well, despite me moving in the middle of NaNoWriMo and a lot of other things happening. Also, I'm working full time, and so we'll see how it goes, but I'm still going to try, and I'm going to let you guys know how it's going. And please let me know in the comments, are you guys doing NaNoWriMo this year? Is there anything else that you want me to talk about? Do you want me to do a masterclass on how I outline my novels? Or I don't know, just let me know what you want to see more of. And yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.